You're listening to the Infinite Banking Mastery Podcast. Did you know that you could build a tax-free pool of wealth that's liquid and accessible all your life while building your retirement nest egg? Gain full control of your financial future and stop relying on the government and banks. The wealthy have already discovered this wealth-building secret. Now it's your turn to get financially secure without following the conventional wisdom that keeps you in debt to banks. Now here's your host, Valerie LaRoque.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Thank you so much for being here and listening. So what is the best company for infinite banking? Now, before I go any further, I do want to say infinite banking is not a policy or a product that you're buying at a company. So if you were to call a company and ask for their best infinite banking policy, they would say, what in the world are you talking about? But what we are looking for, or what people will often ask, is what is the best company to use for infinite banking? But what they mean is what is the best whole life policy to use for the process of infinite banking? Because different products could be used, a bank CD, you could bank underneath your mattress, but the best product to be used is a whole life policy at a dividend paying mutual company. Infinite banking is the process, and whole life insurance is the product. So people will reach out and ask, what is the best company for infinite banking? Or what company do you use for infinite banking? I heard this other company was great. And can we compare companies? Well, let me compare these questions to a little story. What if you were to need major surgery, like open heart surgery? Yikes. And so you get to researching. I need to find a great doctor, someone who knows what they're doing, and you find someone who's been doing it for decades and you have a lot of confidence in. You've learned that they have done and performed many of these types of surgeries. And so they have a lot of practice and they probably know what to do when something comes up unexpectedly. And so you decide, I need to meet with this doctor. So you set up an appointment to meet with this doctor and you decide after discussion, yes, this is my doctor. I feel confident that he can perform this very delicate procedure and I feel confident in his skills and ability. And so I'm going to go ahead and schedule my surgery with this person. So now, while you're with this doctor and just before you leave, what do you think the doctor would say if you suddenly asked, hey, I'm just wondering real quick, can you tell me where you buy your scalpel from for the surgery? Or, another surgeon that I spoke to, he gets his medical supplies from Millennium Surgical. Is that where you get yours? Or could you get yours from there? I've heard that company's really big and just really great at making surgical tools. So I was hoping you can get them from there. Or maybe you could just let me check them out first and make sure, so I can just check them out and make sure that they're going to do the job, get the job done. Pretty sure the doctor will look at you and say, I think I know my profession and I'm very confident in my surgical tools. I don't think you need to see the tools. I'm not going to go look out for all these other companies or Millennium Surgical or any other company you bring up and start comparing those tools to the tools I use. I know mine are good. I use them every day. And so, no, I do not think the doctor is going to let you get him into this process of comparing tools with different companies. Of course not. And he's been doing this for so long, decades, and that's why you trusted this doctor, because he's got the information and the knowledge and the skill and the ability to perform such a delicate surgery. No matter how much studying you do or how much you go out there and try to figure out what would work best, you're just never going to have that much knowledge that he does. He's doing it every day in and out. That's what he does all day long. And he's studied and for years and years. And so, it's going to be impossible to acquire that level of knowledge unless that's your career path. So most likely the doctor will look at you and say, well, you can trust me and the tools that I'm going to use, and I can be your surgeon. Or you can go out and try to find one of these heart surgeons who are using the tools you would like them to use. But I simply can't allow you to choose the tools that I'm going to work with. I have to use the tools that I know are good and will get the job done and will be successful for you. I mean, when it comes to mutual life insurance companies, they're all strong and good companies. They are the financial pillars of the nation. And of course, you want to have a mutual life insurance company because they pay dividends, because they see you as an owner of the company. You have a policy with a mutual company, and now you're an owner of that company and receive the dividends. Different agents will have different primary companies. The most important thing that you need to keep top of mind is that that company is mutual, because these companies are all strong and good companies. And some of us may be appointed with more than one company, like myself. So aside from making sure the company is mutual, you just want to make sure you choose an advisor or agent whose knowledge you're confident in and who you feel is looking out for your best interests. When it comes to companies, it's really like trying to choose between the largest companies. It'd be like trying to choose between Amazon and Google and Apple and Microsoft, all very strong, solid companies. And different life insurance companies, they do have different products, a little different tweaks here and there, different features. And some of those features, maybe the reason why those agents or different agents like to work with those certain companies, because they just like the product, period. For me, I like to work with a whole life product that has very strong guarantees. The life insurance company is conservative and has strong guarantees. My primary company also has never missed a dividend since the opening of the company over 130 years. They have lots of flexibility, and they have the lowest loan rate that I've seen that would be guaranteed for the rest of your life. Or you can switch back and forth and choose a variable rate if you so choose. But I can tell you that for any agent, it does not make sense to work with all the companies, to work with all of the mutual companies, or to work with a whole bunch of companies even. For one, as you do more business with a certain company, and you get to know their upper leadership and all of that, then you're going to get better service overall, which allows you to better serve your clients. And over the period of time that I've had a certain primary company for the process of infinite banking and whole life policies, I have gotten to know more than one CEO with that company and had dinner with that person, and also even the chief actuary. And these relationships really become highly valuable when you have important questions that they would know the answer to, and they actually will answer you. Meanwhile, if an agent gets appointed with many mutual companies, they're likely not to have a strong relationship with any of them. They will probably not get great service. If they have important questions that need to be answered right away, they may not get answers for a while, and that will be upsetting to you, the client. They will have a hard time staying up and on top of all the products and all the product updates with all the different companies, because things are changing here and there from time to time with different companies, and you would have a hard time to stay on top of all those things. And at the end of the day, if you don't write enough business with any of these companies, then they will drop you. They will drop you from being appointed with them, and you'll have to go out and do it again. And usually when you're trying to get appointed again, you have to submit business in order for them to allow you to be appointed again. And then when you have information or you want to look up something for your client, it's more of a difficulty because you have to give them a call and you're a nobody to them and you're not even appointed with them. And it's this whole big deal. So it's actually good for your advisor or your agent to have primary companies that they work with and good relationships with those companies where they can service you very well. Now, I will add as a side note that it's also great not to be forced to work with only one company. Some companies only allow their agents to work with them. It is important to be able to bring in another company when needed. Also, I enjoy working with companies that are supportive of IBC because they make great products on purpose for this strategy. Because there are some companies out there that could care less about it and are not supportive. And more than anything is the advisor you select, your confidence in their ability to help you, and their knowledge, and in your confidence that they will help you to the best of their ability in your best interest. You will want an advisor who can coach you or help you when you have questions along the way. You should choose an advisor that you like and trust. So that's my spiel on what company should I choose for my whole life policy for my infinite banking process. I thought it would be helpful to have a little insight on how all of that works from our end. And so if after listening to this episode, you're thinking, hey, I'd like to work with Valerie. I think she'd be a great advisor and coach. Feel free to reach out to me, Valerie at alphaomegawealth.com. As always, thank you for listening. I hope this was helpful or interesting and that you have a great week. Take care.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.